What do this birdwatcher, neuroscientist, and the inventor of elephant prosthetics share? They all build unique bonds with animals.
High five!
Meet the people giving them a leg up.
I am attracted to the bluebirds because of their beauty. My name is Al Larson. I'm 97 years old, or young. These bluebirds are about 11 days old. I've helped over 40,000 nestlings. Every living thing has just as much right to live as I do. I'm a bird watcher by choice, I guess. When I retired in the late 70s, that's 1970s, I came upon this article in National Geographic, and I became aware of the plight of the bluebird. Their population has been declining, and the importance of the nest box to the survival of the bluebirds. And I thought, well, why don't I try that here? So one of the first nest boxes I set up, a bluebird moved into it. And immediately, hey, success, I should put up more boxes. Oh, this is a second nest. You can see different material built on top there. Well, we'll go on to the next box now. See what's going on there. These nest boxes that I use are ones that I built at home. I came up with a solution of building the box as simply as possible. Cheap to build with just 4 sides, a bottom and a roof. Anybody could build it, even kids. Over the years, I have added more than 350 nest boxes out. My bluebird trails cover quite an area in southwest Idaho. Actually, I've got a trail in each of 5 different counties. I monitor the boxes regularly to record the data of what goes on with the development of the nesting cycle of the bluebirds. I've shared my data with Boise State University, the banding laboratory at Patuxent, Maryland, and anybody else who requests it. Pretty little bluebird, where do you go? Come back to me. I'm going, says a bird, as he flew on high, to see if my color matches the sky. I'm gratified to know that I've helped the bluebirds increase their population. I'm gratified to know that through the work I've done, I've inspired many other people to help not only bluebirds, but other creatures as well. So maybe I've been put here to help our environment. My message is you've got to be active if you're going to get old. Don't crawl into a cocoon because you might not break out of it. So think about the future and what you can do tomorrow. Plan ahead.
Give me a hug. Give me a hug. Yes, I know. That's good. Okay, want to do some training? I work with dogs to train them to go into an MRI scanner and try to figure out what makes them tick and what they're thinking. My name is Gregory BERNS. I'm a neuroscientist at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. I've grown up with dogs and I've lived with dogs pretty much my whole life. One of my favorite dogs had passed away. And in the back of my mind, I started wondering, did that dog love me in the way that I loved him? And that was really the beginning of it. All of these basic things that we've begun to sort out in humans, at least in human brains, we want to do in dogs. If dogs can be trained to go into an MRI machine, then maybe we could figure out what they're actually thinking. So we have a dog in the scanner, that's Katie, and she is a veteran of the project. This is probably about the 15th time she's done this. Just having the idea of, okay, well, let's train dogs to go on the scanner, it wasn't immediately apparent how you would go about doing that. And MRI scanners are not the most pleasant environments. Okay, hey, Callie, Coil, good girl. Callie is the little black terrier who was the first dog to train for the dog project. High five. I built a simulator of an MRI. So this is the simulator that I built here in my basement. Then we started adding in recordings of the scanner noise, which is actually quite loud. We just started working with, treats and positive reinforcement to see if we could get her to go into this thing. That actually proved to be pretty easy. And then so what we did was we kind of put out word of mouth. Do you want to join this project? Do you want to train your dogs for an MRI and maybe figure out what they're thinking? The purpose of this is to go through a number of exercises, including basic obedience, as well as how they react to the obstacles. When we hold the tryouts, it lets us weed out the dogs that we don't think would enjoy doing this. One of the benefits then of having more participants is it gives you statistical power. You can start to average dogs' brains together and get a better sense for what's happening. I started wondering very seriously if we could really finally answer this question. Do dogs essentially like us just for the social bond and not about the food? Good boy. And what we found was looking at the reward system that almost all the dogs had equal responses both to food as well as praise. And even a few dogs like the praise more. The things that we were finding about the dog's brain in many ways confirm, I think, what people know in their hearts about how dogs behave and why they behave. And the way I think about dogs is in many ways they're the ambassadors to the animal world. They're not that different from many of the other mammals out there, and so I suspect that a lot of what we find in dogs probably holds true for pretty much any mammal.
Musha lost her leg when she was 2 years old from landmine. I thought that I should do something for her.
Dr. THERDCHANIVACATE is working with the world's first elephant hospital located in Thailand. Since it opened, more than 4,000 injured and sick elephants have been treated.
I'm the first one who invented the artificial leg for the elephant.
Using his knowledge as an orthopedic surgeon, Dr. THERDCHANIVACATE designed Musha's artificial limb when she was just a baby, accounting for the elephant's weight and size. As she has grown, pressure on the prosthetic has increased, causing it to break. So a new one is created every few years.
This is a challenge for me too. Every time we fix it, we improve it. It's more sturdy, stronger. There's no in the textbook. Sometimes try and error. When she obeys, we give her candy. And she knows where the candy is. She uses her tongue to go into the pocket. She knows. I did operation on her foot about 15 years ago. But she remembered me. She liked to come closer to me. She showed a sign of salute or happy. I think it means so much for her. She can lead a normal life as she should be.
In the middle of a political upheaval, one Ukrainian zookeeper set out to make a difference, in his own way, on the private estate of an ousted president. Sergei used to be a zoologist at the Kiev Zoo.
Моє ім'я Сергій Григор'єв. Я піклуюся за тваринами в Межигір'ї.
One night in 2014, he was watching the news and learned that amidst the chaos, Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych had fled his compound in Mežuhira, leaving his private zoo behind.
Я вирішив приїхати зразу і подивитися, що тут з тваринами, що тут залишилось.
When he arrived, Sergei was stunned by the huge opulent estate and saw the animals needed desperate care.
Я розраховував, що держава зреагує і комусь ми передамо просто цих тварин. Так не вийшло. І зрозумів, що треба брати на себе відповідальність.
What he thought might be just a few days has turned into 4 years.
Починаємо з самого ранку, годуємо лебедів, качок, страусів, оленів. Вони кожний ранок чекають олені плямисті, що зараз вільно проживають на території Межигір'я. Тоді, коли я не годую тварин, я займаюся будівництвом вольєрів. В одному ми переселили косуль. У нас живе сім'я косуль, яких ми тут вигодували самі.
Today, Sergei and a handful of volunteers take care of thousands of animals on the estate.
Тут я маю можливість особисто вигодовувати тварин, там, допомагати їм, слідкувати за ними. Це мені дуже подобається. Робота з тваринами важка для мене тільки тим, що тварини там від старості або від хвороб покидають цей світ, і все накопичується всередині.
The zoo is slowly growing, and Sergei has big hopes for the future.
І зараз, коли Янукович, останній царьок, який тут царював в цьому Межигір'ї, втік, і коли з'явилась надія якби зробити з цього місця національний парк, показати всім, яким чином в державі діє влада, як все це побудовано через корупцію, які гроші викинуті на незрозумілі тут речі, на якісь пафосні будинки.
大概是8年前，有一次我的同事他救了一只车祸的瘫痪狗，当时的狗轮椅很贵，那我就想说我就帮他做一台。我到目前完成的狗轮椅的数量大概400台。我叫潘杰，我的工作是工程师。那我平常有在帮瘫痪的猫咪跟狗狗制作轮椅。那目前在台湾流浪狗问题一样是非常严重。瘫痪狗的造成的原因其实有60%以上是车祸。那这么多瘫痪狗，它进了收容所之后，其实它们是没有机会被人家认养的。我设计这一款轮椅，就是希望它有机会再重新去看这个世界。我设计这一款轮椅需要的材料大约在1000元左右，材料全部都准备齐全的时候，制作一台轮椅大概是1个半小时。我最早期做的轮椅是用木头，在大概4年前，我就统一都全部都用水管，用这些五金行购买得到的材料，那也是让其他想要自己制作的人，他们可以很有效率的去复制，连简单的维修。狗轮椅对狗而言，对它的心理的帮助或许会大过生理方面的帮助，因为它有了轮椅之后，它就不需要整天躺在它的床上。帮猫狗做轮椅这件事是有成就感没错，但是接触的越多，会想要更精进自己的本职学能，因为我希望可以再制作出更精良的猫狗的轮椅辅具，那可以帮助到更多猫狗这样子。